Good morning, everyone. My name is Hill Davis, as you know, and we're here doing another Hang In with Hill, and have a special guest here who actually she runs a bunch of causes and is really helpful with that. And so I'll let her introduce herself and what she does.
Sure, thank you, Hill. Sejal Desai, I'm the program director for the Entrepreneurs for North Texas. We are a program of the Communities Foundation of Texas, and we serve as an outsourced community affairs department for about 100 small to mid-sized companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That's a lot of companies.
It is a lot of companies, but we're growing. We want more.
That's right. You'll do some really cool events, right? You want to kind of talk about that?
Sure. We actually create and develop a lot of plug-and-play events. These are easy to access volunteer events with various different nonprofits across the community. So multiple different employees from all these different companies come together and serve in our community on a very active basis. We do this 1 or 2 times a month, sorry. We also host something called Freedom Day, which is on September 11th, and we've been doing that since 2002. We focus on the veteran community.
Yep.
And so last year we had close to 1,000 volunteers come out and serve our veterans. We did up some transitional homes and the VA hospital, etc. And this year we're very excited to again help empower the veteran community in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So what drew you to this? Like, why this? And because I know you came from the for-profit world.
I did. So I was I moved to Dallas in 1998, and I was involved with an early stage technology incubator and venture capital firm called StarTech. I was one of the co-founders along with an awesome team, and we were working with early stage technology companies. And EFNT also got started around the same time in 2000. And what EFNT was looking for at that time was a lot of early stage companies that could put a sliver of their stock, into this bucket, if you will, that could then be used as a charitable foundation once they had a liquidity event. So we were churning out the companies, and EFNT was looking for these companies to become good corporate citizens. And so that was the beginning of my journey with EFNT. I started serving on their advisory board. I knew Pam Gerber, the executive director, then very, very well. She's a close friend. And that's how the journey started. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So in about 2009, around the time I was turning 40, I kind of decided I wanted to change my life a little bit. It was my midlife crisis, and so instead of doing something totally crazy, I decided to move over from the for-profit world into the nonprofit world, and I'm very happy I did that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I also want you had a great story when we were talking this morning about kind of, well, not necessarily what beauty means to you, but a conversation you had this morning with your daughter. So I think that's a really cool story. Yeah.
You want me to share it?
Yeah.
So my daughter Maya, she's 7, and this morning as she was having breakfast, and I was kind of preparing in my head, what does beauty mean to me? And I have some thoughts, of course, and so I just asked her, I was like, hey Maya, what does beauty mean to you? And so she looked at me and she said, what do you mean? So I said, no, if you think about, beauty, what does that mean to you? And so she said, somebody that is nice and kind. And so I asked her, I was like, so you don't think about it as, pretty or an external appearance? And so she said, no, somebody that is nice and kind and that you like being with. And so I said, okay, so who do you think is beautiful? And the first thing she said was my grandmother, who she is super close to. And the interesting thing about that was that when I was kind of thinking about my definition of beauty, it was really about an inner spark or an inner strength that gets manifested, in a way that attracts people to you kind of more long term than just the quick attraction of somebody.
Yeah, the flash.
Strikingly beautiful, in an outwardly way, right? And so I was kind of thinking inner energy, and to me there were 2 people that came to mind. One was Mother Teresa, and the other was my grandmother, who's actually 103 right now, and she's amazing. She lives in India, and I go visit her often, and even today, she's kind of like Eddie Halliday. They're kind of tracking the same age group right now. Both of them are 103, but my grandmother has just been a constant source of incredible strength and energy and attitude, and she maintains that even today at 103. And so to me, she's beautiful, and to my daughter, it was her grandmother. That's my mother, which was kind of cool too. So
that's pretty powerful.
I like that. Yeah,
definitely. Well, and I mean, it's interesting because you kind of understand how the for-profit and profit world and not-for-profit can come together and help. And, this is kind of what Beauty Kind's about.
Right.
And I'm sure you can see the power in, like, if we came together as a community, right, to support this, whether businesses come and make giving back a big component, like the impact, right? I'm sure you're seeing it at at a level. I mean, think about beauty as an industry.
Right.
I mean, don't you think, as well, I guess to you as a consumer and
Mhm.
your friends, like being able to purchase somewhere where they had this component, do you think that would make a difference in how y'all thought about buying beauty?
I absolutely do. And one of the things we do at EFNT is actually when we're working with our member companies, we talk to them about not letting community engagement be a checkbox event. So, but how can you strategically weave that into your business,
Yep.
right? And so with BeautyKind, you're kind of letting your consumers do that
Right.
at the point of purchase,
Yeah.
which is very neat because then it's personal. Nobody's asking you. You are actually, you're going to do something anyway, which is buy beauty products.
Yep.
But as you do that, you have the opportunity to give back. And it's also a substantial amount relative to other sites, right?
That's
So
right.
you could do 0.5% through Amazon or something, but here it's 5%, which
That's
is
right.
pretty significant. And you get to choose your causes as well,
That's
which
right.
I really like. The other thing that I like that BeautyKind does is that, in a way, as you are running your business, the charity aspect is woven into
Right.
your business strategy very effectively,
Yep.
right? And so I think that's very powerful as well, and I think that's sort of where the next generation of companies are going.
I think that's
to.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. I
yeah.
mean, yesterday we talked about Tom's, and I
Mhm.
think you're right. I mean, I think so many people attach it as a bolt-on,
Mhm.
like, oh, we have to have this now because
Right.
it's the flavor,
Correct.
as opposed to, you know what, at the core of our DNA, this is what we're going to be.
Exactly.
And look, I'll take a bolt-on all day long because it's better than nothing.
Right.
But I think this is different. I think the younger generation, you're talking about something like that, like what the requirements are for someone coming into a company now is
Mhm.
very different than maybe when we joined a
Very
company.
true, very true. So we've had, like, a lot of our companies will tell us that, as they're trying to recruit new employees,
Mhm.
some of the questions they get asked are, do you have enough volunteer opportunities? Do you, what is your charitable giving, I guess, right? Are you engaged corporate citizens? And these are not questions that, I definitely didn't ask those questions when I
Yeah.
was getting my first or
That's
second
right.
job, for sure, because I don't think I would have got those jobs at that time. But it is interesting, and so companies and talent management folks are having to think about this differently. So I do believe that the next generation and that is coming through into the as consumers
Yeah.
and as employees in all of these companies is going to find this very relevant. Plus, they also
Yeah.
buy online more than they
That's
go
right.
to stores too, right? So I think the whole buying habit aspect
changed,
of it
right?
has changed. Yeah.
Yeah, the world's a very different place.
It is a different place. Yeah.
Totally.
We're also very thankful. We did a cool thing with BeautyKind.
That's
that,
right, we did, didn't we?
We
That was
did. So just as you guys were starting up, we
Yep.
were lucky enough to be across the road from you, I guess, so that
Yeah.
helps. But we had a holiday giving program, and so we got these gift cards that we gave out to everybody in our buildings, about 50 employees in our building, plus a lot of our engagement captains. So these are
Yep.
individuals within all of our companies as a thank you gift.
Yep.
And I think that was very, very powerful.
Cool.
And
I'm glad it worked.
people spent money, but EFNT benefited from it as well.
That's
so,
right.
So that was very special. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a real fun program that we do, and that's what we wanted to do is like, it's just giving that gift, paying it forward, right?
Right.
In fact, speaking of that, all right, I want you to choose a couple of friends or a couple of causes,
Mhm.
and let's pay some gift cards forward. So,
Okay, great. Asking me my favorite cause is like asking me about my favorite children,
Right.
which is hard to do, but because I work with so many nonprofits. But because this is about women and beauty to
Yeah.
some extent, I will. One of the causes that I am actively involved with in the Dallas area, passionately from the perspective of connecting people or giving, is an organization called Chetna, which means awareness.
okay.
They work in the DFW area, focused on empowering women that are victims of domestic violence.
Oh.
And so it's just a powerful nonprofit that was created about 10 years ago by a close friend of mine, and I've seen it grow. I've seen it help a lot of different women, and so I'd like to dedicate
Absolutely.
a card or to that cause.
Gift cards. We'll
gift
do it.
cards,
Yeah, let's
we'll
do
do it. Yeah, let's do that. And then another one that I'm very.
You know what we should do?
Yeah.
I just got an idea.
Okay.
And let's think about this. We can talk about
Sure.
it. But like, wouldn't it be great if we could get together and just take them out one day and just treat a lot of these women to like a special day, like manis, pedis, spas, things like that? Is
That would
that
be
something?
wonderful. I'm sure they would love that.
Maybe something like that.
I am happy to check.
Yeah, will you do that?
That would be wonderful.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And they have a gala coming up on
Yeah.
April 25th. Indra Nui, from PepsiCo, will be here.
Oh, wow.
And so that might be
Yeah.
a unique way to kind of engage through a gala, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an opportunity as well.
Totally.
So yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Got it. And so the other one is North Texas Food Bank.
Yes.
I also serve on their philanthropy council, and the food bank, of course, is huge and is an active volunteer engine here too. But they supply food to so many different agencies in the community.
Okay.
And one of the things I learned through working with the North Texas Food Bank which was very different for me coming from India, my concept of hunger and poverty are very different. And so learning through North Texas Food Bank what the face of hunger really means is very interesting, because a lot of the people that actually are served through the food bank, look like you and me, and might have worked, but they're food insecure. And so that concept was very different and interesting, and I've been very impressed with what the food bank has done over the years, and continue to support it. So I would say some gift cards to them too.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with us today.
My pleasure, and I hope you enjoy your road trip. And thanks for making this your first stop,
My
or one of the
pleasure.
first stops.
Totally. No, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Got it.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.